And a complaint from me leading a group, Mr. Speaker, to the President was to lodge an accusation against the government of Trinidad and Tobago. A package. And Mr. Speaker, when I received the package, was that the government of Trinidad and Tobago was engaged in criminal conspiracy. That accusation lay at President's house. And the content of the package, Mr. Speaker, was a series of emails. Mr. Speaker, when I saw the emails, my first reaction was to ensure that it was not frivolous. And therefore, I did not take it to my colleagues. I did not take it to the media. I did not publicize it. The information in my possession, at that time, which I still have, it points to grievous wrongdoing on the part of officers who had, in fact, failed to answer questions to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So, Mr. Speaker, after 6 months, and the officers of state, to the best of my knowledge, not treating with the matter in the way I expected, I thought, Mr. Speaker, and in keeping with the House's standing orders, and being my view that this is a matter for the Parliament, because it is in the Parliament that provision is made under the Constitution for a member like myself, having information. Mr. Speaker, I have extracted this package, this prepared package. This is the body of emails which are put in sequential order. And the important thing, Mr. Speaker, is that they're not just emails. They are emails which, when corroborated, the known and the unknown paints a very frightening picture. Mr. Speaker, the emails represent some addresses which are known to me. And of course, in a couple of instances, I don't know some of them, and there seems to be some kind of problem here and there with one or two of the addresses. But, Mr. Speaker, suffice it to say, I will make reference to 31 emails in my presentation. 31 of them. And, Mr. Speaker, the vast majority of them are emails from the following addresses, which again will be known to a wide cross-section of this country. And as I go, Mr. Speaker, I will indicate where the information is coming from and where it's going. So we press on. The body of emails I'll refer to today, in this instance, is that body of emails covering 17 days in September 2012. That period, Mr. Speaker, when the government of Trinidad and Tobago was called upon to answer for its conduct in treating with the matter that we talked about a little earlier on, which my colleagues so previously jumped up to talk about sub judice. So, Mr. Speaker, there's an email from the 2nd of September, 11 o'clock in the night, 10 o'clock in the night, and that email, the update, the subject is update. So obviously there was something happening, and somebody was updating somebody else. And it goes from anan@gmail.com to kmlapbl1pb1@gmail.com, and the subject is update. So one line, it's a two-liner. My lady, please relax. Everything is in place. Nothing to worry about. We will soon chat. Innocent. Mr. Speaker, at 2 o'clock in the morning, a reply comes. Another email, this time from the kmlapb1 to an@gmail. 3rd September, 2 o'clock in the morning. I am worried, AG. I do not want this to blow up in our faces. It has to be done seamlessly. Speaker, reply comes at 2:15 in the morning. How are things going with this? Do you need to brief me on anything? Did you make contact yet? Will he be on board? I don't want surprises. Next email. This is from, again, ANAND to KMLA PB1. Nothing will be traced back to you. We are always united. Dear man, Mr. Speaker, this was at a time, yeah, they could laugh. As they laugh, Mr. Speaker, just remember, Gordon Liddy, his handful of small burglars, Richard Nixon and Watergate. Let them laugh. Mr. Speaker, there's an email, Mr. Speaker, from kamlab1 at gmail.com to alan@gmail.com. This is at 11:38 on the 6th of September. The subject is money is owed. And the email reads as follows. Mr. Speaker, I take no ownership of this. I take no ownership of this. I put this motion here today so that this, which was sent to me in my office, from a source which I believe wants the public to have it, I put it here for the benefit of you, Mr. Speaker, and the rest of the public.
But as I'm on my legs, let me just again put on the record all letters being read in this House, all emails that are being read in this House. The person who is presented in this instance, the member for Lego Martin West, must take ownership and full responsibility for its content. You cannot speak through anybody else except yourself. So I just wanted to know any member who is reading letters and emails, they will take full responsibilities for and ownership for those emails. It is not coming from anybody else except the member who is reading them. Continue, honorable member.
So, the email says, are you sure everything is in place? Did you chat with the DPP and ask him about this? Try and find out. And the email goes on to say, by the way, she says you are asking for much money. And I hope when the Prime Minister finishes laughing and she enters the debate, she will tell us who is this person who says that the Attorney General is asking for much money. The other email that follows in response to that, which came at 12:15. It says, I scoff that it's too much. We are the ones taking the risk. At the end of this, I want a helipad on my rooftop. There is no price. There is no price for freedom. They know this. I do not know why you engage her. I am yet to approach him, but will do soon. When the Attorney General enters the debate, I hope he will tell us who is it whose freedom is being bought. Where this email coming from anan@gmail.com at 12:15 on the 6th of the 9th of September 2012 to kamla@gmail.com refers to no price for freedom. Whose freedom was being discussed? Whose freedom was being bought? Mr. Speaker, I go to the response to that email from the receiver under the same subject of money is owed. Mr. Speaker, I consider this serious business. If the members don't want to hear, Mr. Speaker, I want to speak in silence, please. I crave a protection.
Members, I would want to advise that you allow the Leader of the Opposition to speak in silence. But as I'm on my legs, let me just again put on the record all letters being read in this House, all emails that are being read in this House. The person who is presented in this instance, the member for Lego Martin West, must take ownership and full responsibility for its content. You cannot speak through anybody else except yourself. So I just wanted to know any member who is reading letters and emails, they will take full responsibilities for and ownership for those emails. It is not coming from anybody else except the member who is reading them. Continue, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, I thought I made that quite clear when I quoted from eminent authority in the beginning of my presentation. Mr. Speaker, if I may repeat that quotation, I did say earlier on it is the personal responsibility of every member of the House to maintain a conduct. I did say that. And therefore, I understand your admission. Mr. Speaker, the email goes down to say, tone down the request and focus elsewhere for now. And the response was, as you wish, my lady. Mr. Speaker, what bothers me about this sequence of developments up to this point was that it could mean anything. But then there's an email from Anon Gmail on the 8th of September to Captain Gary Griffith. And the subject is help needed. Mr. Speaker, just remember what was happening in this country at the 8th of September. And the email goes on to tell Captain Griffith, there's an article from The Guardian that a reporter from The Guardian called me involving our boys. I need you to get your feelers out there and nip the story. Call the Sunday Guardian editor and threaten her with ads if you have to. Just make sure the article does not come out. And Mr. Speaker, that tells me, what is it that the Attorney General would be worried about, this article, that should not come out? And the email, Mr. Speaker, when this is the 8th of September, and the article makes reference, the email makes reference to an article that was supposed to